Hello makers and welcome to Mixed Media Masters. It's really good to have you here. Now on our channel we like to explore abstract art creation, and today no different. We're going to create a brand new piece of artwork and we're going to do so in a half an hour or less. How about that? So let's get started. Now I've already started by taking a piece of paper here and I have gone and just masked the edges. I want to have kind of some white space here that we don't get into. And what I'm really thinking of doing, by the way, I'm working with fine liner black markers, basically. There are a couple different shapes and sizes I have here. Some are very thin. I'm actually going to be working with some that are a little bit more on the marker side of things, if you can see that. And what I want to be able to do is just work on creating a couple of different areas. For example, I want to come over here, and I'm just going to make a circle of sorts, like that. We'll just make it kind of an abstract shape, and I want to just highlight this. And just get around it. I'm going to just create kind of a rough outline around here. Maybe not all the way around too broad, too bold, but let's come in here and let's create something. And again, we're going to come in and kind of fine-tune this with our markers. What I want is just something that looks like it was kind of there, put there on purpose, right? We put that there on purpose. And we'll make on there. So that's kind of a start there. I'm going to do something similar down here. Again, maybe a different size and a slightly different shape. And again, let me just get kind of a wider boundary around here. There we go. And there's no right answer, by the way. We're going to just create some circles. What I want to do is kind of break things up for a little bit later. I'm going to put a smaller circle right up here. And I'll put a couple other smaller circles in the context of what we're doing, like this. And I'll put one there, and a couple more. Let me put something a little bit larger right in here. And again, I'm going to make it a little bolder on this side. Okay, now, why am I doing this? Well, what I want to do is I want to work with marks. And what marks are basically is just that. They're paint marks, or pencil marks, or pen marks, or anything that we can put in here. And what I would like to do is I would like to take, and I'll look at my pens again. Like I said, and by the way, I'll link to the description below where you can pick up all these materials if you don't have them. We can have finer pens, we can have less fine pens. And I'm going to take, here, this is a thicker nib. This is 0.8 millimeters. And if I come in here, what I want to do is I want to basically just start to, well, fill in the spaces here that are white, using my own special language. And guess what? I'm basically just creating marks where I'm going to come in here and I want to come in and just look like I'm actually writing something, right? This is my big masterpiece, by the way. And there it goes across. And as you can see, that's probably not something that you can read, or I can read even. And I want to just do that, come down to the next line. And like it's really bad penmanship, which by the way, I'm really good at already. So I'm a natural, maybe you are as well. And we're going to come in here and again, just kind of fill this space in. And then when I come into the next line, I'm going to give, of course, where I've already kind of broken into where the circle is. I'm going to leave that spot open. I'm not going to write over it. And we'll come in here like this. And I'm just going to continue down my page here. And I'm coming in and making some marks. So basically curved lines, straight lines. I want this to be kind of interesting to look at. Again, it's going to be the background when all is said and done. But I want it to be something that also just can stand out from our piece of artwork and just be kind of an interesting thing that grabs the eye. And that's one of the things about when you're working in abstract art. Of course, there's no right answer in how we do this. But at the end of the day, we're still trying to find ourselves in a place where what we're creating or what people are looking at is interesting, it's intriguing. There's something visually compelling about it that makes you want to look at it, right? So we want to be able to create things that will do that. Even if it's basically scribbles at this point, we want to be able to make this kind of an interesting, at least interesting combination of scribbles. Now, we're not done with this, by the way, because once we get our scribbles down, I want to come back and I want to decorate this. I'm going to do this using cut paper, colored cut paper. We could use paint as well, depending on what you have. I'm going to work with cut paper just because it's one of my mediums of choice, and it's going to allow me to come in here and just really create something that's going to embellish this, because it's just black and white here. It might even be interesting the way it is now, but it's going to be a lot more interesting if we start laying color over this. So I want to be able to do something like that. All right, let me get, again, no right way to do this. I'm kind of speeding through this probably a little faster than I normally would, just to make sure that we have our scripted language. And this one, by the way, I can do this one backwards. How about that? Very, very clever writing pattern for me. Okay, and a couple more lines will fill this thing up for us. By the way, I'm working on a 11-inch by 14-inch sheet of paper today. I'm making it a little bit smaller. One reason is just it makes it a little faster to build it. But also I'm playing around with different types of art formats because I find I do a lot of large format stuff. And while that can be helpful and the stuff looks great on a wall, it doesn't fit every wall. So being able to have something where I can, put what I call bathroom art, where it's just something that's a small framed picture and it works. Just take up a little less space on the wall if you have a location. Okay. Again, I have no idea what this says, but I think it's a lovely poem. Well, that's what it is. It's a poem of some sort, and there we go. Woohoo! All right. So now that I have laid this down, and again, if I want to embellish areas and come up here and say maybe we'll make this into something a little bit more embellished as well, I can do that. I can also come in, and if I want to make some basic shapes, maybe there's kind of a mark like this. It's entirely up to me. What I really want to be able to do now is enhance this with some sort of color. I think we could make this really interesting by laying color. Now again, if you have a paint set and you want to be able to drop some paint colors and come in here and kind of paint different sections, we're going to try to embellish this best we can with our elements. And so I'm going to come back in just a second and show you how I'm going to do this using cut paper. Okay, welcome back. Now, if you're a regular on this channel, you know we love to work with cut paper. It's just really one of my favorite mediums of all time. And I have my bin. I have basically, it's a milk crate full of pieces of paper that have been used for other projects. And so we have lots and lots of stuff. And the nice thing about it, even if it's in kind of rough shape, it's really the colors that we're going for. So having kind of a goldenrod color to work with, I have, that's a pink color. That'll show up pretty well. We have a little bit of purple. Let's have something that's kind of an earth tony thing. Let's see, we got some blue. Blue is always good. I like this turquoise color. Another kind of blue. And what else do we have in here? I think kind of a red color. And again, what I do with my palette here is entirely up to me. I can be very focused on a specific range of colors if that's what I want to do. Kind of unlike this shirt I'm wearing, which is a little bit loud. But I really like polychromatic, which means it really has more than 70% of the colors in the spectrum included in it. Now, in this particular case, I think those are some good choices. Let me make my crate go away here. What I want to be able to do here is I'm going to grab my trusty pair of scissors here. And what I'd like to do is just come and start creating some little spaces of color that I can put in here. So for example, I'm going to grab my orange sheet here. And again, I can work with scraps for a project like this. It's really helpful to be able to come in and say, all right, maybe I'm going to come in here and just make a circle. I'm going to make an orange circle like that. So this is going to be my component. And now it's a matter of just finding a place in the artwork where it may work. Now what I may do is create these different elements first, and then when I'm feeling confident about them and like how they've turned out, I may then get the glue stick and start to really go to town. So the bottom line is, again, there's no bottom line. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to be working with various colors, and I'm going to create some dots, or maybe not dots. Maybe it's going to be, maybe that's a great shape to toss in here somewhere. What I want to do is start to put these in kind of the white spaces that we have, or maybe inside things. Maybe there's a circle there that needs a dot of color in it. And again, I can come in here and make a really, really small dot of color and say, okay, why don't you go right in there or something like that. So I'm going to spend a few minutes going through my paper, cutting out different shapes, and then when we get back, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go through the process of pasting them down. Okay, welcome back. Now, as you can see, we made a little progress here. I've gone through my stash of different colors, and I found quite a few that I really like. And the reality here again is I'm trying to get as many different colors, make it as polychromatic as possible. It's also not taking up a lot of paper. So this is one of those great reasons why you want to save your little scraps, because all you need is sometimes just a little bit of color to really pop things out. But as you can see, the colors have really drawn well, they really enhance this because the black and white background, while it was kind of interesting to begin with, is really now embellished a lot more, I believe, because of the colors we're putting in here. Now, the last thing to do is grab my trusty glue stick and start putting some of these pieces down. Now, is there a right way to do this? The answer is not really. What you're going to find as you're putting things down is you may want to say, hey, these colors really look good next to one another, so let's kind of keep them in the neighborhood. Sometimes when I do this, you'll notice I've kind of distributed them based upon the different hues. I don't want to have too many of the same colors next to one another, and so I can do it this way. I've also put in some squares as well as circles and kind of chunks of pieces just to change it up a little bit and not make it all just the same. So the bottom line for me right now is to be able to take my glue stick, and I'm going to start by just grabbing one of my dots here. I'm going to grab this red dot and just rub it on the back of the glue stick, and then it's an opportunity of just pasting it down where I think it's going to do the best that it can do. And that's really the process here. There's no wrong answer. There will be times when you look at something and say, I think that piece would look better over here than over here, let's say. Sometimes I'm also thinking maybe I'm bringing things in from the side a little bit as opposed to, all the way distribute. Entirely up to you. Again, this is an opportunity for you to do what you feel is going to work best. And not only that, are we done with our background? Are we done with the black and white aspects of it? There's nothing to say we can't put the colors down and then come in later and maybe fill in some areas where we think it needs a little bit of help. So, glue stick time, and when we're done, let's take a look at what we have and see if there's anything else we might do to improve upon our artwork. Okay, so it's as easy as that. Now again, the way you approach your artwork can be entirely up to you. I like how this has turned out. And again, when I look at things like this, one of the things I'm looking for is where does my eye go? There's a couple things I would like to modify here, just because I can. And that I'd like to come back in here and just get kind of a smoother boundary around this. It's a little ragged, which again is catching my eye, but not in a good way. And just kind of create kind of an interesting border around that shape. And maybe I'll do the same thing for this shape down here. Maybe make it a little bit more stand out from the crowd just a little bit. Okay, draw your eye. This one here can also pick up a little bit of extra ink. And again, what I end up doing with this is entirely up to me. Maybe I'm just going to come in here and create kind of a shape that has a little fill in it. Right, and maybe I'll do the same thing up here. Just kind of grab something and enhance it like that. Once again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create something that is interesting to look at. Now, this, because it is abstract and it's not designed to be, laid out perfectly. It really is about the organics, right? It's about the idea of that when I look at this, my eye kind of wanders all over the place, which is part of the fun of this piece. Now, again, this may not be for everyone. This is the beautiful thing about being an abstract artist, is your vision is your vision and what you do with it. But what I want you to do with this project, if you choose to follow along, is just feel comfortable with the fact that there is no right answer. And being able to put some colors in here and something that really just kind of makes has fun. It's like confetti that's having a party in here, and the background, I don't know, it looks studious, maybe a little studious. But again, I can come in here, and if I want to enhance my lines, it's an opportunity with a finer pen to come in and do that. And it can really change also the just the overall feeling, look and feel that we have in here if we come in. Now this is a very fine one. Let me find something that's a little less fine. Well, that's here we go. This one's a little bit more so. So again, I can come in here, and if I want to just kind of fill in my scribbles with additional thinner lines, I can feel free to do that. No wrong answer. But I think what you're going to find over time is that you're going to create something that's going to just be interesting enough. You throw a frame around this and put it up on a wall, and people are going to be like, wow, that is so cool. How did you do that? And you're going to say, it's a 1 hour masterpiece I learned by watching Mixed Media Masters, because that's what we do here. Anyway, that's all I have to share with you today. Thanks again for being here. If you like what we've done, we do things like this all the time. Every week we drop a video and would love to be able to share upcoming videos with you. So feel free to click on that subscribe button down below. And if you hit that bell icon, we'll let you know when a new video is dropping. Anyway, that's what I have for you this week. Thanks again so much for joining me. I'm Spider, and I'll see you next time.